In this help video, I'd like to look at matching up the pip size you're plotting your charts in NinjaTrader 7 and our MTPredictor pip offset. Let me show you what can happen if these are not aligned. Here we have a TS1 sell in the British pound US dollar. If I right mouse click, do analysis, can you see how our stop trigger and our entry trigger are just like, they look like they're way off, don't they? They're just so far away from the setup bars. And the reason for this is because if you look at the right hand side, I'm actually plotting this British pound in pips. In other words, there's 4 decimal places. So currencies can either be plotted in 4 decimal places and 2 decimal places, which are the Japanese yen based ones, or you can plot in 10th pips, which are normally 5 decimal places and then 3 decimal places for the Japanese yen cross rates. So let's just check this. So if I go to the control panel, which is under Tools, Options, and then let's go to the Data tab. So you go Tools, Options, then the Data tab. Can you see here it says quote currencies in? Now here you can see they're in pips. Now most people tend to nowadays plot currencies in 10th pips. In other words, it's 5 decimal places and 3 decimal places. So if I now change this to 10th pips here and do OK, come back to the chart and I'll just reload the data, clear that off, place the analysis on again. Can you see how now it's at the right, the correct place? So why was that? Well, if we go to our MTPredictor preferences, so click on the MTPredictor button and preferences, you can see our preferences tab opens down the bottom here. If I go to risk profiles, then come down to currency, you can see here we offset the entry by either, well, the defaults we have are 20 and 30. Now we have these as 20 and 30 when you're plotting these as 10th pips. In other words, if your chart is on 3 decimal places and 5 decimal places, the offset entry should be 20 and 30 because you're plotting in 10th pips. If you are plotting these in pips, then these should be 2 and 3. So does that make sense? I mean, most people will tend to leave these as 20 and 30, and then in NinjaTrader plot their currencies in 10th pips. That's the standard way of doing it. So that's what I suggest you do. Go into NinjaTrader, Options, Data, quote currencies in 10th pip, which is what you have there. Then under your MTPredictor setups, under Preferences, for risk profile currencies, do your offset entry by 20 and 30. Then basically everything will be okay. If there's any reason why your data vendor only supplies these in standard pips, which is 4 decimal places and 2 decimal places, then you can change your offset down to 2 and 3. But the standard way of doing it is plotting in 10th pips, which means these are in 3 and 5 decimal places. Then you use our currency offset as 20 and 30. And if you do that, then all the analysis should be okay.